Hey crafters, this is Nye here. So today what we are going to do is we are going to assemble our layered Christmas penguin ornament. You can see my samples here that I have made. It is adorable and so super cute. I made one and then I just kind of had to keep going and make some more. It's got a little bit of sturdiness to it, but it's not like so thick that we're using up a lot of cardstock, and it's just pretty fantastic. So what we are going to do is we're going to assemble it together. I'm going to be using my art glitter glue here for all of my gluing, and as you can see, I've kind of cut out all of my pieces and I have them stacked and layered in my order for gluing. Now, you can also see that I've got some letters here that I cut out on cardstock as well. If you want to personalize yours with a name, you can cut out a name and letters using any kind of font choice that you want, or you could leave it blank. Or if you want, you could use like a calligraphy pen and then just kind of write it in there if you want. That's a personal choice. I'm going to make this one say data. So that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to get started now with our gluing. So I'm just going to push this up here to the top for a moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus here on the facial features. So the nose and the two cheeks. And I'm just using my finger to kind of lift these up and move them off to the side, because what I'm going to do is add some glue. So I just added a little bit there. I'm going to add a little dab right here. And then I'm going to use my push pin to just kind of put the face features down. And the reason why I'm doing this first is because these pieces are so tiny that as I'm doing stuff, I don't want to get them lost here on my table. I already thought that I had lost one of the letters before I started the video. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to recut it. So, you just want to kind of work with the smaller pieces first. I'm even going to go ahead and do the same thing here with the letters and just kind of glue these down so you guys can see. A little bit of glue is going to go a long way. I don't even know what font I used for this. I'd have to look it up. But a little bit of glue is going to go a long way with it. And we are going to just kind of press it down. And you, like, when you're doing the letters like this, if you're using paper, it's okay. Like, it doesn't really have to be perfect. You know, it is on a curve here, so you can put the letters on a curve if you want, or you can just kind of keep them straight and go all the way across. It's, again, personal choice here with how you want to do it. And if you wanted to, for that scarf layer, you could even use like a pattern cardstock. It might be a little harder to show up with like the letters, but you could definitely use pattern cardstock there. All right, so that takes care of like the small itty bitty pieces to this design. I'm going to move my snowflake out of the way too, and I'm going to move the feet as well because that kind of got shifted. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start gluing. So I'm going to take these two over here, and you can see that there are two black back layers. And the reason why there are two is because it's just adding a little bit more thickness and support here to our penguin. So what I'm doing is I'm adding some glue to the back of one, and then I'm just going to kind of press these together, eyeballing them up and lining them up here so that way they fit. Then I'm going to do the same thing here with the white layer and just again adding glue here to the back. And then making sure that I even get the little hook here as well, because I want that to make sure that I get that glued down, because I don't want that part to kind of be a little stuck there or anything. And remember that when you are gluing, you've got maybe about 10 seconds to shift things around if you need to before the glue dries and then you're stuck. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here now with this scarf layer. And like I said, this one could be with a pattern cardstock if you want, or not. It's really, again, a personal choice there. And you could definitely use a pattern if you don't decide to like write a name on it or anything. Okay. And so this hat here, it's that trapper hat. I was when I was designing it and I was thinking like, what could be on his head? I almost did like Santa's hat, But then I remembered like when my kiddos were little, they always had like these trapper hats and they would just hang down over their ears. And, you know, when they were out playing in the snow, they were just so bundled up and they were like adorable little marshmallows there as they were rolling around and stuff in the snow. So that was kind of like my inspiration for the hat. All right. And so you've got this outer layer here to the hat because those trapper hats, they're always two colors. You've got the inside, that's that fur look, and then the outside, that's the actual kind of like color to the hat. All right, so for this snowflake, I only did 2 snowflakes. If you want, you could do 3. Like you could just cut an extra one if you want to kind of add it, if you wanted that. That's, again, another personal choice here. I'm going to press this one down kind of right there. And let's just press it that way. And then I'm going to do this smaller one here that's going to be by his hand. It doesn't matter what side you do it on, or you add this snowflake here. You can add it to this side, the right side, or the left side. Like, it just doesn't matter. I'm going to add it over here. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I feel like this part of the scarf is on that side. So just to kind of balance it out a little bit here. So I'm adding a little bit of glue right here to where the feet are going to go. And then I'm just going to use my push pin to push that down there. And then there's that one. Okay. And so that kind of finishes off the gluing part. So now let's go ahead and add kind of like the string and the wooden beads here. So I've got this twine that's colored. You can see I also had it here in red, but I'm going to use the black here for this video. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a good bit. So this is probably about maybe 15 to 16 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to meet the 2 ends together, and then I'm going to fish it through the little hole at the top. And so this twine is very, whoops, it kind of comes apart a lot. Like it frays, I guess you could say. It doesn't like to stay together. So we're going to have a little bit of a challenging part. So I probably just did all of that without really saying anything. So all I did was I fished it through. And at the bottom, it kind of creates the loop because I met them together, the 2 ends, and then I fished it through. And all I'm doing is I'm fishing the ends again through this part and then just kind of bringing it down nice and tight right there. And then I've got these wooden beads that I picked up at my local Michael's. They are all different kinds of sizes. It's like a variety pack. And I'm going to grab the largest ones here out of this pack. And really you can use any size wooden beads that you want. Like, don't feel that, you know, it's all going to be dependent on your twine and how much you can fish through there. Okay, so I've got this here. And so like I said, because my twine is already fraying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab myself another pair of tweezers here. And I'm going to take the twine, put it over the little hole that's in the bead. And then I'm going to use my tweezers and just push it through. And so this is where it's going to be hard and difficult because the twine wants to fray and it doesn't want to stay together. So, and it's not going to fish through very easily. Like, it's going to be difficult and ornery because, well, that's just how everything always turns out to be. All right, so I can kind of see it at the other end. And when I do that, it's going to fray more. So let's try this again. So I'm going to cut this part here just to kind of cut some of the ends. I did it one at a time before when I did it with one of them, and it was really, really difficult. It didn't want to work very nicely. So let's try it this way here. All right. And so just kind of keep pushing it through, and then you can kind of see it a little bit more on the other end and then just pull it through. Okay, it's gonna fray again on me. Let's try this. There we go. Okay. So like I said, it's very difficult, and I know that it's just my twine here that I have. And so when I go to do the next one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut it down again one more time because again, it's all frayed. And then I'm going to press it down and then use my tweezers again to push it through. If you've got like a yarn needle or maybe a crochet needle, that might be really helpful for doing this. I have some, my daughter has some, I should say. But I didn't think about that before I started making the video. That might be really beneficial though, because then you could kind of just like make the knot there. And then hopefully it would work. Let's see if I can get it here. Nope. Okay. And it's like almost stuck now. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to cut it down one more time. Try it again. I promise you it didn't take me this long when I was doing it on my own. Oh, I'm really cutting this down short too. All right. Hopefully third time's a try, right? Okay. If you know a better way for this, do share. I'm definitely open to suggestions. All right. Hopefully this one's gonna work. It feels like it is. I can already see it kind of going down a little bit more. All right. You would think that gluing would be the long part, but not today. Okay. All right, there we go. Whew. And I kind of frayed a lot more of it, but it's gonna be all right. Okay, so once you've got both of them there, I would do at least 2 or 3 beads. Again, that's going to be personal preference. And then you're just going to make a little knot. I'm going to pull this one as far out as possible because my thread got a lot shorter. So I just kind of made a knot there. And then there we go. And I'm going to trim off some of this ends here that frayed. All right, and so that's really it. It's super cute, right? And so that finishes it. So I hope you guys really enjoy crafting yours. Share some pictures. I would love to see. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I hope that you have fun crafting. All right, thanks for watching. Bye now.